Hello, this is Yujia and welcome to my new day vlog. 4 days ago, I created a high-definition, low-poly model of this red potato here in my hand using my DSLR camera, Adobe Photoshop, Agisoft Metashape Standard 30-day free trial version, ZBrush, Maya, and Substance Painter. The model was created through Photogrammetry, where I captured images of this red potato in my hand and used multiple software to create an accurate 3D model. I also tested the model in both Unreal and Unity. Although I have many years of experience with 3D modeling and creating game-ready assets, this was my first attempt at a photogrammetry project. Like most of the other first times in my life, it was challenging, but it provides me opportunities to learn and grow. And now I'm going to pass my learning and growth to you, my 27 subscribers. Friday, pre-production. Friday night, I went to a grocery store and bought 2 grapefruits, 2 avocados, a red potato, a pack of bamboo skewer, and a pint of ice cream. The fruit and vegetables are my potential subjects for photogrammetry, and the skewer and ice cream pint were purchased for supporting the subject of photoshoot. Saturday, morning photoshoot. Despite California being a place with abundant sunshine throughout the day, it is not ideal for photogrammetry due to the harsh shadows created by direct sunlight. When photographing shadowed objects, the resulting model will have an indeletable baked light map, causing the render of the model to look unnatural under different lighting setups. Since I do not have access to a professional photogrammetry studio, so I had to do the photoshoot at 6:30 a.m. when the sky provides the most ambient light, where the clouds are nicely diffusing the lights to the ground. Initially, I photographed the grapefruit and avocado, but I soon realized that the wall and the short distance between the subjects and the ground were creating unwanted shadows. To rectify this, I made some adjustments to my setup and relocated to a more spacious area before capturing images of the red potato. During the photoshoot, my camera was set to manual mode, and I disabled the autofocus function while leaving the focus ring untouched. To ensure optimum clarity and sharpness in my photo, I set the aperture to 16, which allowed both the foreground and background to be in focus. However, this resulted in some compromises on the ISO setting, which I increased to 5000. Even though it is typically advised to keep ISO below 800. Nonetheless, I was aware that my camera has a large sensor which could still produce clear images at higher ISOs. And I also had to maintain a shutter speed of 1/160 to avoid blurriness due to my shaky hands. As a result, I captured several loops of images surrounding the subjects of both their details and silhouettes. Monday, throwing those photos into Agisoft after processing them. First, I converted all my raw files into DNG, which is Adobe's preferred file type for photo processing. Then I used Camera Raw, opened all the photos, and boosted their clarity, vibrance, saturation, aka CVS, lowered their shadow, and made them slightly bluer at once. Finally, I created an action to add shadow highlight filter and compress the DNG into PNG format with a maximum pixel dimension of 5000 pixels on the longest side. Using this particular action, I was able to perform batch processing on all the photos without needing to touch the keyboard or mouse even once. Giving higher values to the CVS to boost the details can result a better mesh, and lowering the shadow will help Agisoft generate a more accurate base color map. And feeding Agisoft PNG instead of RAW or DNG can help Agisoft digest the data better, and maybe help your computer live longer. GPUs are getting pricier and pricier every day because those Bitcoin miners, so you better cherish your GPU. Anyway, this is the initial output from the first set of 38 photos. And this is the output from an additional 71 detail photos added. And this is the final output with another 80 assisting photos focused on the holes in the point cloud from the second output. I took about 400 photos of this red potato. 100 of them are actually too blurry to be used because my smart-ass decision of turning off the autofocus. I was gradually adding more photos into Agisoft for testing the program's limit. You know, why doing the labors of 400 photos when you can get a good result with 38 photos? After getting a fair result out of 189 photos, I deleted the excessive points, optimized the camera with much less points, and generated a dense cloud. With the dense cloud, I built a super high poly mesh and a albedo map, aka the base color map, and exported them out. Tuesday, optimization. The high poly mesh contains around 900,000 faces, which can be an excessive amount of data to ZBrush or Maya. As a result, I reduced it through decimation to achieve a high poly mesh with 60,000 faces while still retaining its overall shape and details. And I reduced the poly count again from 60,000 to 4,000 by using Z-Remesher inside ZBrush. Z-Remesher is really one of the best tools for retopologizing. Check out this result, it's so nice and even. Reducing the poly count can result in fewer details, which is why it's necessary to use Substance Painter to bake high poly to low poly. This process enables small details such as bumps to be presented by normal maps. Human vision relies on the detection and interpretation of light, and similarly, game engines use algorithms to simulate the interaction of light with 3D models' faces to generate images to your computer screen. Therefore, to optimize performance, the super high poly mesh with 883,480 faces is being decimated into a low poly mesh with only 4,000 faces. And to ensure all the intricate details of the high poly mesh are routined, we need to bake them onto 2K, 4K, or 8K squared images on the low poly mesh. And here are the steps involved in the process of map baking. Step 1. Open Maya to create a more optimized UV. Ensure that UV are evenly distributed and taking up as much space as possible, so that your maps can utilize as many pixels as possible. Step 2. Go into Agisoft and ask for a new albedo map, aka base color map, based on your new set of UV. Step 3. Open Substance Painter bakes the detail from the super high poly model to the 4000 faces model, and apply the base color map that you acquired from Agisoft to that model. Step 4. Going back to Maya, fix the size and translation of the model. Step 5. Importing the model with centered translation back to the same Substance Painter file and use it to replace the old one, and applying the old maps to the new model. Step 6. Tweaking the map. Erasing the yellow part casted by the bamboo skewer makes the color more authentic to the original object and all the other final touches. Step 7. This is really an extra step for me. I hate seeing those harsh edges, so I decided to soften the edges in Maya. Also, I used ZBrush smoothed this bump here because I think this bump is caused by the bamboo skewer mistakenly. Step 9. Exporting all the maps in your desired format. And finally, we are good to go. This highly detailed potato model can be rendered in real time in Unity or Unreal right now. Lastly, I want to conclude this video with the mistakes that I made during the process and some tips that I want you to know. Mistake number 1. I should leave autofocus on, as many pictures turned out to be too blurry to use, and the absence of some photos resulted in 2 significant holes on the super high poly model. Mistake number 2. I recommend setting the aperture to a range of 6 to 10 instead of going too high with 16. The clarity of the surrounding environment is not as important as the clarity of the target object for Agisoft to generate a cloud of points with accurate positions. Tip number 1. When recording an action for batch processing, it's important to include the options for opening and saving the file and toggle these 2 specific options on. If you forgot to toggle these options on, you will need to manually hit the Enter key twice per photo for opening and saving the file, even if you've included opening and saving inside your action. Mistake number 3. You see there is an inerasable spot on this red potato here, and it is caused by a tiny hole from the super high poly model that was used for map baking. So it is important to make sure you closed all the holes before you are exporting any model out of Agisoft. Right now, this spot cannot be fixed without spending extra time touching up the normal maps now. I probably will do a quick tutorial on how to fix normal map in the future, so stay tuned. Okay, that's all the content for today, and I do hope you find it informative. At least, I will watch this video before I do another photogrammetry project. Remember, practice makes perfect, so do not hesitate to get your hands dirty. Thank you so much for watching. Adios.